One of the ways to get in our own way when it comes to self-awareness is this thing called cognitive dissonance. And it's defined a couple of different ways. Marketers use it and psychologists use it.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those sound bites.
It is.
You hear it, it sounds great,
Yeah.
but we're not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it.
But I wouldn't want it.
I don't want it.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad thing.
I'm sure I don't have it. So the way I look at it is we're in a relationship, and the thing that's going to prevent us being on the same page, one of those things, is cognitive dissonance. You have a view of you, of who you are, and everyone believes they're a good person. Every person on the planet. Everybody. If you ask, every time I do this in the room, who here thinks they're a good person? Every single person puts their hand up. Everyone. Now, maybe that's true and that's wonderful. But some point statistically, there's going to be some gaps, but no one can see it.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want to.
That's so true.
We don't want to see those gaps. So to me, the way I look at it in terms of what is going to prevent this becoming stable or my internal world becoming more stable and functional and calm and working for me is the thing that's going to prevent it is cognitive dissonance. There's who I am and there's who I envision I am. And that gap is pain. It's all pain. So I envision myself as I'm a good person, I do the right thing by people, I'm a great listener, and I always come through. And then someone who we care about and whose opinion we respect gives feedback that is not aligned with that. You really let me down here. You hurt me here. The cognitive dissonance will have this person say, no, I didn't. You're making too big a deal about it. Or make a joke. Or dismiss it. Or we'll talk about that later. Or start working harder to avoid the conversation. Because they're not having a conversation with what this person said. They're having a conversation with the cognitive dissonance. And this gap, whilst it looks small, is what puts miles between people. Yeah. Miles and miles. And the longer they hold on to their cognitive dissonance, which to me is another form of, I don't want to see myself accurately. Remember, it's about clarity and ego. I'm not prepared to see myself with the clarity in which is being shared right now, because I did let them down. I don't want to see it. And my ego is saying, I can't handle it. Yeah. There it is, that gap. And the more cemented that gap is, the bigger this gap between two people. And the bigger the gap if you just do it for yourself. I'm a good person. I always come through, always do the right thing. And you have someone say to you, it could be in a work environment, say, someone says to you, you keep putting things off, you're procrastinating. That's not who I am. And they'll get upset with the person. How dare you say that? That was bullying. I can't believe they're giving me that feedback. I don't like it here anymore. I'm going to go somewhere where I don't hear cognitive dissonance, which doesn't exist, by the way, because if the person procrastinates and they're trying to hold down a job, they're going to get the feedback. So cognitive dissonance is the greatest wall between clarity and the calm we're talking about and stability. It is literally a solid wall. And the more we fight to not face that cognitive dissonance, the more distance we're creating between ourselves and self-awareness.
Yes.
Instead of saying, is that accurate? Which is the easiest question in the world. We get feedback from someone we love and who we say we respect. There's a big difference between respecting someone and saying we respect them. They give us the feedback and we say to ourselves, is that accurate? I trust you got value from this podcast. We had so much fun and delighted in bringing it to you and for your loved ones. If you haven't yet, your subscription would be absolutely fantastic. Your subscription and your feedback means that we get to rate higher. If we get to rank higher, more people get to hear this message. You can also help out if you'd love to. Once you've subscribed, by sharing this podcast with someone who you believe this message may resonate with and create a discussion around it. Just enjoy it and interact with it however you choose, but most importantly, we'd love your subscription. See you at the next episode.